What if I told you that one of the most profound lessons from the Quran doesn't stem from a prophet, a king, or even a human being, but from a dog? Yes, a dog, a creature so loyal, so devoted, that Allah Himself chose to mention it in His eternal book, not once, but with deliberate detail and profound purpose. This was not just any animal. It didn't speak, it didn't perform miracles, and it certainly didn't lead an army. But it did something far more extraordinary. It remained steadfast in its loyalty to the righteous, even when the entire world turned against them. At a time when even humans abandoned the truth, this dog stood by the believers in exile, lying at the entrance of a cave, guarding them as they slept. Not for mere hours or days, but for more than 3 centuries. Why would Allah choose to mention a dog in such a sacred narrative? Because loyalty, real, pure, unspoken loyalty, is a quality beloved to the divine. This isn't merely a story about a dog. It's a story about the values that truly matter in the sight of Allah. Trust me, after hearing this, you'll never view loyalty in the same way again. Long ago, in a time lost to history and far beyond the reach of modern maps, there existed a kingdom. It stood tall, proud, ruled by a tyrant who viewed himself as a god. His rule was ruthless, his laws founded upon idol worship, and any who rejected them were hunted as criminals. It was during this age of darkness that a group of young men, youths whose hearts had been awakened by divine truth, rose up against the tide of oppression. They had no armies, no power, and certainly no protection. What they possessed, however, was unwavering faith. These young believers refused to bow to false gods. They chose instead to worship Allah alone, even when it meant risking their very lives. The tyrant's threats were harsh. Their families turned their backs on them, and society mocked and isolated them. Yet their hearts remained steadfast. When the pressure became unbearable, they left behind everything, home, family, safety, solely to protect their faith. They became fugitives, not for any crime, but for daring to believe in one God. They traversed rough terrains, hidden paths, and treacherous valleys, seeking a place where they could freely practice their belief in peace. And then, along their journey, they stumbled upon a cave, dark, mysterious, and cavernous, like a sleeping giant with an open mouth. It wasn't luxurious, but it provided shelter. Most importantly, it offered freedom. But they weren't alone on this sacred journey. Trailing quietly behind them was a creature, a dog. Many might deem it insignificant, perhaps even impure. Its fur was dusty from the journey, its tongue hanging out, panting in the harsh sun. Yet its eyes were alert, filled with something far greater than mere instinct. This wasn't a trained guardian, nor a noble breed. It was simply a dog, an animal, but a dog with a heart full of loyalty. It had chosen to walk alongside the righteous, not for food, not for shelter, but because of a bond that defied explanation. The Quran doesn't tell us the dog's name. It doesn't describe its breed, color, or size. Yet Allah, in His infinite wisdom, included this dog in the story of the Ashab Al-Kahf, the people of the cave. And that alone is enough to move the hearts of those who truly understand. Imagine the profound weight of being mentioned in the eternal words of Allah. In Surah Al-Kahf, verse 18, Allah describes the companions of the cave, preserved in a miraculous state of sleep. He says, "And you would have thought them awake while they were asleep. And we turned them to the right and to the left while their dog stretched his forelegs at the entrance." The imagery is striking. The dog did not merely follow the companions. It positioned itself like a silent sentinel, guarding the entrance, paws outstretched as if to declare, "You shall not harm them while I live." The symbolism is powerful. A dog, an animal many might deem unworthy of divine mention, was honored by Allah as the faithful companion of these blessed youth. Not only that, but the Quran speaks specifically of the dog's position, its posture, and its role. It wasn't just a passive background figure. It was integral to the miracle. The dog remained at the mouth of the cave, guarding and protecting, as inside the young men surrendered their souls to Allah in a divinely ordained sleep. This wasn't death, but a miraculous slumber that lasted not days or months, but for over 3 centuries. For 309 years, the companions of the cave lay in a state of suspended time. Their bodies did not decay, their hearts did not stop. Their sleep was not natural, it was miraculous. And at the entrance of the cave, the dog lay still, preserved in a state of divine stillness, neither dead nor restless, simply present, quietly watching. A humble animal transformed into an eternal guardian. In obedience to Allah's command, the sun shifted its angle so that it would not directly strike their bodies. It rose and moved in such a way that their preservation was maintained. Inside the cave, the temperature, light, and air were all regulated by divine will, each detail perfectly crafted, including the dog's position at the entrance. This dog's place wasn't just for protection. It served as a symbol, a barrier, and a signal, a creature of loyalty, now an integral part of a divine system of safeguarding. Can you imagine what the world outside the cave looked like? Generations passed, empires fell, new languages were spoken, new kings rose. Yet inside there was only silence, peace, and a dog that never moved, never wandered, and never betrayed. This animal, incapable of speech, of worship the way humans do, was honored because it stayed close to the righteous, because it followed the truth, because it chose companionship over comfort. It didn't demand reward, it didn't ask for praise. Its loyalty was pure, silent, and unwavering. Here's where the lesson becomes deeply personal. If a dog without intellect, knowledge, or rituals could earn such mention in the Quran because of its loyalty to the righteous, what does that say about us? What does it say about the company we keep, about the loyalty we show to those who call us to Allah? This dog was not honored because of its bloodline, speech, or skill. It was honored because it stayed close to the people of faith. That's it. That's all it did. And that was enough for Allah to elevate it forever. In today's world, many people chase status, fame, or recognition. But this dog teaches us that loyalty, silence, and faithfulness are what truly elevate a being in the eyes of the divine. Many abandon sincerity in pursuit of worldly applause. Yet here we have a dog, completely unknown to the world, with no name we even know. Yet its story is recited every Friday as we read Surah Al-Kahf. Millions of Muslims across centuries and continents unknowingly mention this animal again and again because Allah chose to immortalize it in His divine book. The scholars reflect deeply on this. If an animal can be elevated through loyalty and companionship, what of a human who serves the righteous? What about someone who supports the people of knowledge, aids a dawah movement, or simply shows love for the friends of Allah? There's a profound principle in Islam, al-maru ma'aman ahaba. A person will be with those whom they love. This dog loved the righteous. It followed them. It protected them. And in return, Allah granted it a legacy that transcended time. Even more striking is the reflection by early scholars. If Allah mentioned this dog in the Quran because of its loyalty to righteous men, what might He give to the human who serves the righteous with sincerity? Just the thought alone humbles the heart and uplifts the soul. Outside the cave, the world continued to spin. Rulers died, empires rose and fell, languages changed, and the earth itself shifted. But inside the cave, the miracle endured. The young men slept, untouched by time, suspended in Allah's mercy. And at the entrance of the cave, the dog remained, its limbs outstretched, its gaze unseen by mankind, but eternally etched in the memory of the heavens. When we read the Quran and arrive at the verse about this dog, it is not a mere passing mention. It is deliberate. It is pointed. It is sacred. Allah did not simply want us to remember the youth who stood for the truth. He wanted us to remember everything around them, the place, the light, the sleep, and yes, the dog. Because in the Quran, every detail has purpose. There are no extras, no background fillers. Everything is revelation. Everything is a sign. The dog's posture is described in the verse, not to offer a dramatic visual, but because even in the stillness of this creature, there is something deeper to grasp. Its four legs stretched out show alertness, readiness, vigilance, like a soldier at his post. It didn't curl up and doze off. It didn't wander away once the cave was found. It took its place as though commanded, instinctively understanding its role had begun. This wasn't a dog of miracles. It didn't speak, like the ant during Prophet Suleiman's time, nor carry messages like the hoopoe bird. It didn't swallow a prophet or lead an army of birds that dropped stones from the sky. This dog had no supernatural powers, but it had one trait that made it deserving of eternal remembrance: loyalty. In an age where commitment is fleeting, where allegiances are switched for personal gain, where promises are broken and companionship is often conditional, this dog stands as a silent sermon. Its loyalty wasn't loud, it wasn't transactional. It followed the youth when the world turned its back. It didn't ask for rewards. It didn't seek praise. It simply stayed. In a world where loyalty is so often in short supply, this dog's unwavering devotion is a profound reminder of the kind of loyalty that Allah holds dear. This animal with no intellect or speech teaches us a lesson far beyond its station: the value of being steadfast and loyal to the righteous, to those who embody truth and faith. In doing so, it earned a place in the eternal book of Allah, an honor that no worldly status or fame could ever surpass. They were nobodies, persecuted, homeless, abandoned. The dog didn't wait to see if they would become famous. It didn't hold back because the road ahead was uncertain. It walked with them into exile, and when they stopped, it stayed. When they slept, it stood guard. Even more profound is this truth: the dog was not a prophet, not a scholar, not even a human being. Yet Allah saw it. Allah preserved it. Allah recorded it, not because of what it knew, but because of what it did. And that alone teaches us something weighty. Allah values action, sincerity, and the quiet loyalty of the soul more than appearances or labels. The Quran honors this creature not because it taught others or led a revolution, but because it kept company with the righteous. Just being in the proximity of goodness with sincerity was enough. That is a message we must internalize. Sometimes you don't have to be the scholar delivering the lecture or the leader standing on the stage. Sometimes you're the one behind the scenes, holding the camera, sweeping the mosque, setting up the microphone, defending the one who speaks the truth. And that quiet role, that humble loyalty, if done with sincerity, can write your name where it matters most, in the record of Allah. Let us pause and reflect. How many people today wonder if their efforts are seen? Does their love for righteousness, their protection of believers, their silent sacrifices matter? Yet a dog whose name we don't even know is spoken of on the tongues of billions, simply because it stayed beside the people of faith. Its loyalty didn't go unnoticed by Allah. And then came the awakening. After more than 3 centuries, by the will of Allah, the youths opened their eyes. They sat up. They thought only a day or part of a day had passed. Their bodies were unharmed, their clothes untouched by decay. Time had touched them, but it had not consumed them. One of them went into the town to buy food, still unaware of how long they had slept. But the coins in his hand betrayed their age. They were ancient, obsolete. The people stared. Whispers spread. Who is this man? They wondered. He spoke like them, but dressed like a memory. His coin came from a king long gone. The townspeople gathered, and the truth unraveled. The legend of the cave, once a myth, stood before them in flesh and blood. The believers had returned, and with them came the living proof of Allah's power to preserve, to protect, and to perform miracles beyond comprehension. But what of the dog? The Quran does not tell us what happened to it after the awakening. Perhaps this silence holds the most powerful message of all. Its role had already been fulfilled. Its loyalty was already recorded. Its reward already sealed. There is wisdom in not knowing everything. What we do know is more than enough. The dog had served a divine purpose. It had stood by the righteous. It had shared in their miracle. And even when its name was forgotten by man, it was immortalized by the words of the most merciful. The scholars of Islam often highlight the lesson of companionship from this story. It is a profound reminder of the value of loyalty, sincerity, and being in the right company. It shows that sometimes the smallest, quietest acts of devotion can carry the most significant weight in the eyes of Allah. The dog, through nothing but loyalty, earned a place in divine scripture. This teaches us a profound truth. Who we associate with, who we love, who we defend, and who we follow can shape our legacy. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "A person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let one of you look at whom he takes as a close friend." Imagine that your destiny may depend not just on your deeds, but on the company you keep. This is why the Quran shows us a dog, not preaching, not teaching, not commanding, but simply being with the righteous and being sincere in that companionship. It's a powerful message, one that humbles the arrogant and uplifts the unknown. Today, in every corner of the Muslim world, millions read Surah Al-Kahf every Friday, just as the Prophet, peace be upon him, encouraged. And with each recitation, this dog is remembered. A dog whose name we don't know, a dog whose voice we never heard, a dog that never sought fame. Yet it achieved what many humans dream of, eternal remembrance in the Book of Allah. And this remembrance wasn't through heroic feats, but through unshakable loyalty. It's as if Allah is telling us, you may think you are small, you may believe you're unnoticed, but if your heart is loyal, your soul sincere, and your love for the righteous real, then I see you, and I will honor you in ways the world cannot imagine. This isn't just the story of some ancient sleepers and their animal companion. It's a story that speaks to every servant of Allah who wonders if their quiet service is known. To every believer who chooses to stand by the truth, even when it's unpopular. To every soul who remains steadfast in love and loyalty, not for personal gain, but for the sake of faith. The dog of Ashab al-Kahf was not merely a protector of a cave. It became a protector of a legacy, a witness to divine mercy, a sign from Allah. In that still figure at the cave's entrance, we find more than a companion. We find a symbol of loyalty beyond time. So, dear brothers and sisters, we've journeyed through the cave, walked beside the righteous youth, and stood quietly with their loyal companion, the dog whose silent devotion echoed across centuries. It's truly remarkable, isn't it? How even the quietest, most overlooked soul can become a timeless sign in the Book of Allah. This story reminds us that it's not about titles or recognition. It's about sincerity, loyalty, and the company we keep. If a nameless dog can be honored in the Quran, what then of you, when you walk the path of truth with love in your heart and loyalty to Allah in your soul? Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a reminder of how much Allah values sincerity, no matter where it comes from. Until next time, stay humble, stay sincere, and always stay close to the people of faith.